Welcome to Hiring America, the television series that helps military veterans find jobs and transition into meaningful careers. I'm Andrea Vasquez. Secretary Murphy, thanks for joining us here on Hiring America.
It's great to be with you. Thanks so much for having me.
President Obama recently appointed you to this position just in January. What does this job entail?
So I'm the acting Secretary of the Army. So I'm the civilian leader of the U.S. Army, and that's 1 million soldiers and about 400 civilians. But of the 1 million soldiers, the majority of them are actually not on active duty. The majority are National Guard members and reservists, but we are one team, one fight.
Scientists get a bad reputation for communicating and sort of translating between their colleagues and the public. How did you learn to do that? Was it deliberate?
In my field, or in academia in general, the most you really expected to ever communicate is in a lecture hall. And what's going on in a lecture hall? People are paying to have to sit in your class, to have to do well.
Tonight, we're taking an in-depth look at the contemporary state of the American dream, the changing nature of jobs, the vanishing middle class, wage disparity, and economic opportunity. This is our ongoing reporting initiative called Chasing the Dream. For some high school students, collecting their diploma on graduation day means overcoming much more than homework and final exams. Poverty, abuse, and instability at home can derail students from reaching academic success and higher education. The nonprofit Children's Defense Fund New York advocates for children's rights to education, health, safety, and equity. Each year, the organization's Beat the Odds Scholarship Program recognizes a handful of students who've overcome tremendous obstacles. And joining me now is the Executive Director of Children's Defense Fund New York, Samantha Levine, and one of the scholars who has beaten the odds, Elham Chowdhury. Thanks both for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
And growing up, your father told you that you didn't have value, that you weren't going to amount to anything. But in your speech, when you were honored at the gala, you said you wanted to be the kid from the Bronx that changed the world.
Hopefully.
Where did you get that drive?
Honestly, my drive originated from my mom. She was arguably the most positive person I ever met in my life. And when she passed away, and I was I was 12 at that time, my whole life just took a different turn.
The scientific world was abuzz when a team of scientists announced that they had recorded the sound of two black holes colliding 1.3 billion light years away. The discovery is the first direct proof of existence of gravitational waves, or ripples, in the fabric of space and time. Gravitational waves were first predicted by Albert Einstein in 1916 as part of his theory of general relativity, and they have major implications for the study of black holes and the dark universe. Here to help us unpack the groundbreaking discovery is physicist and educator Humberto Canella. What is a gravitational wave and how exactly is it created?
We're all familiar with throwing pebbles in ponds. From the point of impact, we can see these ripples going further and further and then dying out. If we now replace water with the space in the universe, it's pretty similar.
In a few hours, you can have a mini-me, or a shapey as the company calls them, like mine, with enough detail to see the wrinkles in your clothes and the flush in your cheeks. To reach beyond its classes, this year the organization launched Project Art Everywhere, a new annual event putting canvases in front of public libraries around the city to get New Yorkers in touch with their creative side. Advocating for education and children's rights, one of the most important jobs for both parents and educators alike. For American Idol sensation Clay Aiken, it's become his passion. His foundation, the National Inclusion Project, promotes social and education integration for children with disabilities. Since its formation, Clay has partnered with Marquee Studios, a nonprofit which provides arts education for a variety of children with different abilities and aspirations. I had a chance to visit a classroom in Lower Manhattan where the Marquee Inclusion Program brought together students of all types for an art lesson. The outcome was simply magical. Ready? These students are learning about patterns and rhythm, and in the process, they're learning about each other. First graders and special needs middle school students are side by side in this weekly art class as part of the Marquee Inclusion Program.
Doing something together, even if it's just touching fingers or touching an elbow, that's interaction, that's communication, it's socialization, it's allowing a space for them to interact in a safe, structured activity.
Special needs students who can't be served in a mainstream class are often put in their own classrooms, but that means they don't get much opportunity to meet, interact, and communicate with their general education peers, even though they may be passing each other in the very same hallways.
So there's a mystery, a creation of the other in the special needs child that is unfair, unnecessary, and as always happens, kind of negative.
Teaching artists from Marquee Studios lead students through activities in visual arts, music, and movement.
Both groups of students are being exposed to each other and interacting in new ways with each other, and they may not ever have had that opportunity in the past, and they may never get it again. They're going to be more open to and less intimidated by each other.
My favorite part of this class was the stuff that we had to do with partners.
These 1st and 8th graders are not only from different classes and abilities, they attend different schools, though they're in the same building.
How does it feel to work with people from a different school? Samora?
It feels like great.
The things that the children learn during these types of inclusion programs are skills that they can take with them wherever they go.
What's your name?
Jeff.
Jack.
So it teaches them how to really manage themselves in social situations, which is really important for our students.
The students in the Gen Ed school are able to learn, what does it mean to have a disability? Oh, there's some things you can do the same as me. There's some things you do differently than I do. And I think that's part of the point here also. It's not that I can do that you can't do, but that we approach differently.
I was helping Jack so he could pay attention and earn his stars.
One of the students that you saw today, Jack, uses assistive technology to communicate. And so it doesn't stop him from communicating, and it gives the other students the opportunity to learn another way of communicating and that they can communicate with him.
How old are you?
6.
Yeah.
And do you want to ask Jack?
How old are you?
I am 13 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. Ready, go.
The Marquee Inclusion Program is in 4 New York City schools, with hopes to keep expanding its presence in classrooms and understanding among its students.
Fostering tolerance in a city like New York City and everywhere in this country is what we all need to be doing. And exposing each other to our differences, which also makes us realize that we're really not that different.